These are their stories.
Welcome to another episode of Rap in Order. I'm First Class Regg.
I'm Taurian B.
How we feeling today?
Good, man. Ready to I'm excited for the episode for today. Very excited. It's a very it's an important project to me that's something that as I was researching this and like revisiting it and then going back to 96, like a lot of good memories. Stop looking at my notes.
I'm just looking.
Stay on my notes.
I got notes too. I'm just looking.
Notes.
You know what I'm saying? So even before we get to that album, next weekend should be cool for you, right? You got something
going to WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Happy. My girl surprised me, and originally we were just gonna go to like the allotment, so we were gonna go to SmackDown. NXT has a show on Saturday. Then Sunday we would have chilled, found a bar, and watched WrestleMania somewhere. And then Monday is the Raw after WrestleMania.
Okay.
So she surprised me with that, right? And then she was like, ladies and gentlemen, like Sarah, like you don't half-ass anything on Sarah. So she's like, fuck it, we're going to Mania. They got Klarna. We can just pay an installment.
Yeah.
We gonna be in Philly.
Yeah.
All right, fuck it. Like,
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Shout out to Klarna.
Yeah, man. It's WrestleMania 40, so we going. I'm excited to see like The Rock is like really leaning into this final bullshit. So I'm excited.
Yeah, this nigga, what'd he do to Corey the other day?
He beat the shit out of Cody Rhodes.
Cody, sorry. Yeah.
They had a segment where basically he whispered in his ear, "What make you bleed?" And then Cody was like, he made a promise he can't. And then the show came, The Rock beat the dog shit out that nigga.
It had him like laying outside in the rain.
Yeah, like on some final bullshit. Yeah, like he.
But is he a successful heel right now? Like I feel like people still love The Rock. Yeah.
I think it's like you can't. He's so fit. It's like people love Ric Flair.
Yeah.
But he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
So it's like that. Like it's just that like now he's like a legacy act. So it's like, it's nostalgia, your childhood, like. Pretty much everybody in our age group growing up grew up watching the Attitude Era at some point.
Yeah.
Looking at him and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I had the instrumental tape.
So, yeah. So it's just like, yeah, like, you see The Rock as a heel, but you don't hate him. You kind of enjoy the shit that he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And like, all they're doing with Cody is recreating like the shit that his dad went through. His dad is like the pretty much the prototype for what a babyface is in wrestling. Like, It's like him, Ricky Steamboat, Hogan when he was a good guy. Or is a good guy at times. Like there's like certain wrestlers like that, like the archetype, like they pretty much like always get their ass beat, like to the point of like fans like coming to tears and stuff like that. And with Cody, like they're just doing it. So for some people, it's boring. Like, all right, we get it. Like Cody is Captain America. Like, he stays after the matches and signs all the fans' autographs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But in real life, most people aren't nice.
That's a fact.
You're like that. So,
yeah.
They like Cody.
You want to see the other side.
They like The Rock a lot more. And, the only thing I'm worried about is that The Rock is doing such a good job and he's so dominant that is taken away from like Roman. Because it's like the night 2 is about Roman and Cody, but it feels like The Rock is taking all the air out of it.
And The Rock, that's what he does. And I feel like The Rock only joins certain institutions or makes partnership with things under the conditions of being able to suck the air out the room. Like that's what he wants to do.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he does.
Yeah.
Otherwise, let's see what happened this week. All right, so we gotta rip the Band-Aid off, right?
Don't stop.
Okay. The raid at Puff's multiple homes.
Okay.
What I found interesting is that we only really saw what happened in LA. Because the Miami home got raided and the New York home got raided.
Yeah.
Like, so I feel like, all right, I'm just going to say this overall. If he's guilty of all that shit, put him under the jail. But I do think that the stuff that the Little Rod producer guy put in those statements, I think he just said whatever he can to just ruin that man's life.
You don't think there was truth?
I think there was truth, but I think it was like over. They went overboard. All right, so let's take a prime example. Transporting drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, that's just like taking, like when weed was illegal in every state, like that's just like carrying weed to go to another state.
Yeah.
So let's say like people are like calling somebody a drug mule is extreme.
Mm-hmm.
Is all I'm saying. Okay, cool. Like these people were taking coke to, okay, these people in those areas, like they do coke. So,
yeah,
yo, make sure you bring some coke. So you don't gotta call nobody.
Yeah.
Like that, right? I'm not saying that that's good, and I'm not okay with that, but I just think that certain things were like heightened.
But did he list did this white boy that they arrested, did they list the conditions under how he was transferring drugs? Like what was he grabbing? Like how much
I think
and
he
what
was just a
bulk?
connect. They just knew. They was like that nigga was probably somebody. Yeah, the white boy. He played college basketball at Syracuse. Apparently, like he was the person that like could get all the party favors, and he had all the connections. So I think that was just his job around him. And it's like most celebrities, like that's the case. Like I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just saying that I think that Little Rod was pissed off that Puff played him, didn't pay him properly, didn't give him
Mm-hmm.
placements on the album. He already sued Puff.
Mm-hmm.
He had to go fund me. And I think that after the Cassie thing, he saw like, oh shit, like I can actually get my money now.
Mm-hmm.
And fuck this dude, I'm gonna ruin his life. And I think that's what happened and it's working. And most people believe the rumors about Puff because unfortunately Puff has had so many instances of run-ins where like he didn't do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
So people is just like nobody feels sorry for him. And that's, fine. But I don't believe that with through all of this shit that Puff is this fucking crime boss. That's all I'm saying. I definitely believe that, you know what, he slept with some underage girls, which is the worst thing, right? I definitely believe that there's drugs involved and that he put his hands on one. Like, so that alone should get him in jail.
Yeah.
But the things that were like, they saying like, videotaping the blackmail people and stuff like that, like, all I'm saying is just that like, we'll find out more and more as the weeks come. But
I think anything further of speculation is just like conspiracy theorist talk. But I think it's a lot of truth.
last thing,
Yeah.
Daphne Joy being a fucking sex worker.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she was a sex worker. I think that she was just down with the freak offs, and sometimes Puff will hit her off for money. Like, damn, you did your thing last night, baby girl.
Yeah, but I think with shit like that, that's what makes it that like so in the court documents and shit like that, even if the transaction, quote unquote, is that loose, where it's just like, yo, good shit today. Here, that's still a form of sex working.
Okay, and that's true. Oh, all right. So one thing did get debunked. Young Miami was not transporting pink cocaine because she was at New York Fashion Week and she had proof.
Oh, so she presented that proof?
Mhm.
Okay.
Like I wasn't even there. I didn't attend. Like wherever the thing is that they said that she attended to bring the pink cocaine. She's like, that day I was in New York the entire day. I didn't fly anywhere.
Okay.
All I'm saying is that yes, Diddy, like I think a lot of people just want to like get money from Diddy, and that's fine because he probably owes people mad money. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's been known notoriously like for him like paying people.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that like somebody like Mace, who's jumping up saying like that's why I left. I'm like, that's part of the reason why you left. There's so many other reasons why you left. And you came back and still got money and Puff didn't take any money from you. For the money that he owed. He had a whatever album deal. He left after one album, after 2 albums.
Yeah, but
So,
I think with Mace, it's like I give Mace, like I've been hard on Mace in the past, but I give him like a little bit of like I extend like an olive branch to him. It's like, yeah, for like
having the foresight,
one, leaving, and then some people give him slight like, oh, but you went back, and it's like, well, I think there's something to say or see about him leaving the first time and then going back, probably thinking that he can manage it better. Like, all right, that was overwhelming, but now I can go back and manage this because truthfully, I was probably getting more money in this situation than I'm getting now. So now that I know what I know, I can go back and I can have more foresight. I can kind of see things different. Yeah. But then hitting the eject button again when you're like, well, yeah, nah, maybe I don't.
Yeah.
You know?
And okay, I understand that. And I think it's less about like what he rapped about with Gina. I don't care that he's rapping about guns and killing people and stuff like that. It's just that like he wanted to stay away from puffing them because he saw a lot of dark shit. A lot of people was dying around him and stuff like that. But I don't think he had that much foresight. I think he just got away from Puff because he figured he was like, yo, something's gonna happen. And he got from around. But I don't think he saw all of this happening or whatever like that. But
yeah, I don't think he saw all of this happening, but he knew something was happening around Diddy.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. So I don't know. And then also 50 Cent. I'm tired of 50 Cent.
What? Well, so I hate when he goes on his tangents and he does shit like, oh, you a sex worker, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yo, that's still your baby mom.
Yeah, like like I think like his childhood was so like traumatic and fucked up. I don't think that he realizes like because he doesn't know what it's like to like love a parent. Like I
Mm-hmm.
think that he doesn't realize like yo, like your son loves his mother, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about somebody that your son loves, and you over here talking shit about her. Then you expect your son to eventually come to that understanding that he probably won't come to till he's like 30.
Regardless of y'all's personal relationship,
Like hold it down, like you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
hold it down.
Hold it down, fifth. But also the Queen blessed us with an album.
Yeah, she did. Very long fucking album.
It's a very long album, yeah. Like because when it dropped, I didn't get I played it as soon at midnight.
I did too. Yeah.
I don't think I was done. I don't. It was like 1:30.
And I was in my bed. I was in my bed and it was just playing on my speaker. And I was just kind of like listening to it. But
I did like her flip on Jolene.
her flip on Jolene was dope. So I do think after listening to it, there are like someone revealed out there that, and which I agree with, I think at this point, that the album is from the perspective of her mom or paying tribute to her mother.
Well, yeah, like
Yeah.
on the album cover, she's wearing the sash that says "Be Nice." That's her mother's family last name.
Mm-hmm.
That's why her name is Beyonce and all of that stuff. I think that we she's honoring like people in her life. So like the first one was Uncle Johnny,
Mm-hmm.
and now she's honoring her mother. So I guess we're gonna get funk music for her pops.
Yeah.
Or does she honor or does she just or does she honor Hope?
I don't know if I would like that.
Like that?
Nah, I don't want that.
Say rap out.
Nah, I don't really like rapping Beyonce.
Well, do you remember how the album you? Oh, see,
A lot of people do.
Yeah.
A lot of people do. I'm not the biggest fan of rapping.
Did you? So did you pay attention to the ending of the album, like the last song?
Yeah, how it ends. I think you actually told me about it.
That rock shit.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Yeah. So we'll get like a rock out. Yeah. I mean, but
I feel like we'll either get a rock album or we're going to get a funk album.
if it's a combination of that too, that'd be fire.
Yeah, like something. So it'll be like in like the vein of like Parliament, Rick James.
Yeah,
like that.
There's some Parliament nod.
Parliament, Rick James, some Prince. Like yeah, like I would like that.
That's if that's something that she can tie into, because everything seems to the chest so far, like family.
Mm-hmm.
That's something she ties to her lineage and like puts it on another family member. That'd be dope.
Right.
Or even just does some shit with Solange.
I just feel like her pops is a fan of funk, so it just make all the sense.
Yeah. And it seems like and I think they've reconciled. I know they was
yeah. Still be around and shit.
Yeah.
Like that. I think she got over him having a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, like that's like
it's very.
Did we talk about Justin Timberlake's new album?
No, we didn't. I don't think.
Did you like it?
I like it. I don't know if I would revisit it that much. It's way more pop than I want it. But it's good.
I enjoyed it. Justin Timberlake makes solid albums. He's just not a good person. Nice.
Why do you say he's not a good person?
Come on, Reg. Look what he did to Janet Jackson.
Bro.
He left her hanging.
All right. But you gonna say, so if somebody holds you to a mistake that you made 20 years ago for the rest of your life and say you still not a good person, how would that feel?
I hope he feels the way that Janet Jackson felt that day.
That's not a fair assessment. I mean, of course, us as a black community, we love Janet Jackson.
Stand by Janet.
I love Janet Jackson, right?
Hey girl,
today is actually the 20th anniversary of Damita Jo.
She should be getting honored way more than
she absolutely should. And I think I've seen him do over the years like a bunch of interviews apologizing and stuff. And yeah, in that moment when shit happens, he could have stood in front of that fire for her and been like, yo, but at the same time, he was an artist on the rise too. So he didn't really take his white privilege into account. He probably, and was just like, yeah, I mean, they on her, fuck it, which is fucked up. But it was 20 years ago. I'm just 20. I'm not going to say he's a bad person for something he did 20 years ago. That's kind of crazy.
Okay. Call me crazy.
It's kind of crazy. I can't do it. I don't know this nigga.
Call me crazy.
You know?
I mean, and then well, we're going to talk about that one in one of the promos, but we don't trust you and all this stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Guys,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'll get to the nitty gritty of that.
Yeah.
Let's get into this album.
Okay. So with one of the album that we're doing today, this gentleman is in one of the biggest rap crews of all time. One of the most recognizable logos of all time. And that's in any genre, just period. Um, this guy, like, I always kind of champion him over the years for like his storytelling. He can be cartoonish in his approach, but like his storytelling is not like point A to point B all the time. And that's why I like it, because it's like it's all over the place, but you can follow it because it's vivid. Um, and then he stands out in his crew, even though he's not per se like the most lyrical, but the way that he puts songs together and the way that he's been able to blend R&B and hip hop with like the artists that he works with, I don't think a lot of artists are able to do. And I'm talking about Ghostface Killah, and we're talking about Ironman. That's the album that we're getting into today.
Cole.
Dennis what?
Dennis Cole.
Dennis Cole. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So it was released October 29th, 1996. Iron Man is Ghostface's debut solo album. It was produced entirely by RZA. Draws from blaxploitation films and soul samples. The album peaked at number 2 on Billboard and was certified platinum. Critics have revered this as one of the greatest Wu Tang solo albums of all time. It was led by singles All That I Got Is You, Daytona 500, and Motherless Child. What are your memories of this album? Did you visit it back then? I mean, 96 was a little crowded.
I did. I actually the first I heard of this album, my cousin gave me it was a promotional cassette tape, and it had Motherless Child on one side, and on the other side it had All That I Got Is You. So obviously, like at my age, like Motherless Child didn't like resonate, but All That I Got Is You like was like it was just like a beautiful song.
Mm-hmm.
So like I remember I used to play that song I played it so much that the tape popped. Like I don't know why, I just loved that song. It was a beautiful song. And then when the video came out, it just made it more vivid.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was great. So then when I finally got a chance to like check out the album, which was dope because my cousin worked at a record label. She actually worked for Razor Sharp, and she would just come home and just bring me CDs and stuff. So I was able to like listen to this album, and I was just like, I was like sensory overload, because like it was certain things that like I recognized from it, and I was like, oh shit, like I heard this, I know this soul sample, I know this, like, things like that. But like as a kid, I didn't know what soul samples were. I was like, oh, this is Al Green.
I know this sound.
Yeah, I know this sound. I know that sound. It was like a very like pivotal project to me. So, I just thought like Ghostface Killah was my favorite rapper from the group because his name was Ghostface Killah. That was number one. He had the coolest fucking name. Number two, I thought he was fly as hell. I thought like he dressed very well. And then like listening to his raps, like I don't know, like he has like a childlike charm to him the way
he does.
Like it's kind of like he raps like how like a teenager at that time would be explaining. I mean, he was like in his early 20s, but like explaining himself, like you're not being clear, but it make mad sense to you and your friends. So a lot of his raps, like that's what it did for me early on. But Ghostface Killah, he, how do I put it? Ghostface Killah is probably one of the most unique individuals to me, because like I think that he didn't have a lot of confidence in himself early on in his career, and like it's like evident because like he didn't appear on that many songs on the first Wu Tang album. The reason why he's on Only Built for Cuban Links, because his confidence was down, and Raekwon was like, yo, come on, like do the album with me. And then like it was time for him to do his, and like he just was like, yo, I'm fuck, like I can't. He had so much respect for the dudes in his crew, he didn't even think that he could do it, like or accomplish it. And he was going through a lot at this time. He was diagnosed with diabetes, the sugars, and then he one of his best friends got 25 years of life in jail. So he was like suffering. Like, well, when this album got revisited, he revealed that like he was suffering through depression all throughout this. So he didn't enjoy any of the success. So imagine like you put out this project, people telling you like it's one of the best projects, like it's all this, and like he's like, yo, I was depressed. I don't even like listening to that.
Mhm.
I was in such
And
a
it just
dark
take
bad
because it
place.
takes them back to that space.
Like,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, no, I was gonna say like for me back then, like I said, '96 was pretty crowded. So like you had like a lot of albums that came out.
Mhm.
Of course, I was familiar with Ghostface and with Wu, but I think the only songs that made it to me back then were All That I Got Is You, of course, Daytona 500. Um, there's like a other select 260. I remember my brother playing that. And I always liked the storytelling on it. But yeah, like back then it took me years and some intent to go look for this and to even look for Ghostface catalog. Cause yeah, I think just Wu as a collective, I didn't really explore their solos
yeah.
until
So
late.
yeah, it was kind of like you saw them before you heard them,
Hmm.
right? But
The only one that I heard in real time was Meth,
okay,
because he was the most
right. He was the
famous.
most popular, right? And he was on the biggest label. He
Hmm.
was on Def
He
Jam,
was on Def Jam.
right? But as far as like conceptual albums go, like this album is one of my favorite, and I think it also kind of developed me like really liking conceptual albums and like following like a theme and like knowing like where like the artist is going. It helped me understand what was being talked about a little bit more.
Yeah.
So as far as like this goes, but one thing that I always like to like do sometimes with myself is like ask myself which one is better, like Only Built for Cuban Links or Iron Man, because I think that usually like they talk about three projects that are like the best projects from Wu Tang. So it's Liquid Swords, Only Built for Cuban Links, and Iron Man. Like, and then some people like talk about ODB's debut or they talk about Method Man's debut. But like to me, those three stand out. And for me, like Purple Tape is Purple Tape, but I revisit Liquid Swords the most of the three.
Okay. I think for me, are you just talking about debuts
Debut
or
of the debut.
okay, okay. Hmm. It's only built for Cuban links for me.
Yeah, and that's like that. I think that would be the majority answer. I feel like if we did like a poll online, like I feel like more people would say Only Built for Cuban Links than out of the three. But like what the Jizza did on that project, like that was just man, that like because it was just like a whole lot of he basically like broke down a lot and he's like very intelligent. So like him like taking that route, like him and RZA, I feel like him and RZA like knew like because they cousins, like they were really gonna like lock in and do that.
They really synced up for that.
Yeah, like and they show a lot of that stuff on the Wu Tang show that's on Hulu. You said you only got through the first season, right?
Second season.
Second season. Yeah, the third season is pretty funny because it shows like how their lives are while they're famous, and it's pretty fucking funny.
I got to check it out. I'm gonna definitely finish it.
But did you? Okay. Other question. The albums that came out in '96, is this album at the top of it for you?
Nah, not at the top. It's in the highlights, but I got in '96. You got Reasonable Doubt. You got It Was Written. You got AT Aliens.
Tupac dropped 2 albums that year.
All Eyes on Me.
Machiavelli. War.
Yeah.
Hell on Earth by Mobb Deep. Philadelphia by The Roots. Stakes is High by I'm fucking about drawing a blank. Oh, it's De La De La Soul. Muddy Waters by
Redman.
Dirty by UGK, and Becoming by Busta Rhymes.
Yeah.
96 was
96 was crazy, but I think my number one from 96 is Reasonable Doubt.
Yeah, me too.
Because it has the most replay value for me.
It Was Written, yeah.
I think so, yeah. It Was Written is number 2.
I enjoy both, but yeah, I put Reasonable Doubt as the most important rap album of '96 in my opinion. It Was Written was great though, and it was written aged so good.
Yeah, It Was Written aged so good that everybody went back and was like, "Wait a minute, maybe this is better than Illmatic." You know?
Oh shit, yeah, right. People do say that. People do say that, but yeah, man. Oh, there's an interview with Ghost says that like another reason why he doesn't like this album is because he did it because he was in such like a bad state that he knows that like he put his best foot forward to compete with everybody that released albums in '96. So like in his mind, when he gets the praise, he's like, yeah, but like I ain't like he don't feel like he out rap niggas. Like he thinks he's nice, but he don't think that he like really like put his stamp and like really outshine the other albums that dropped in '96, which is pretty like self-aware and pretty cool.
It is very self-aware. I mean, he has a lot of moments on this album where he's outshined.
Yeah.
He has a lot of those. I mean, fucking was it Capadonna on Winter Wars?
Oh, yeah.
That went crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some joints on here like Master Killer, Inspector Deck almost always really outshines a lot of them. But this intro, so Iron Maiden, Raekwon, Capadonna kicks it off. Production is incredible. I think they both outshined him on this too.
Yeah, they did. The opening of the album, right? The dialogue is from this, like, and it's placed throughout the entire album. It's from this movie. It's a blaxploitation film, and it's called The Education of Sonny Carson.
Mm-hmm.
So it opens with that, and I was like wondering, I'm like, why the fuck is this like such like a why this movie, like, of all the blaxploitation movies? And you know, it's basically a like a coming of age film about a kid navigating like the ghetto and like basically getting an education in school and in the streets.
Okay.
So that's really cool. Did you talk about the sample flips?
No.
Okay, so there's two samples on this one. It's the Al Green sample from Gotta Find a New World and Strong as Death, Sweet as Love. Those are the two Al Green samples that are at this project. And it's just like RZA, I know RZA says he ain't do no drugs, but I just I just feel like you just gotta be on some kind of drugs.
You have
for your brain to just go there. Also, think about this, right? Like they a lot of this album, like, you know, they did crate digging and everything like that. But music had to be played so much in his household for him to like have that like that's like kind of genius level to me. To like be like, yo, I gotta remember that Al Green song that mom used to play? Like something like that. I'd be like, yo, there was like one part where the drum was dope. I want to use that drum for the bass line.
Yeah.
I use that for the riff. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Does RZA have any siblings?
Yeah, he does. So like, remember he has a sister who's Ghostface Killah's baby mother.
Okay.
And then he has his brother, and his brother's name is Divine.
Okay.
Because, you know, they have like names for 5% Nation shit. So like he has his brother Divine. I think he has like other siblings as well, but like the ones that I know like for a fact is Ghostface Killah's baby mother and his brother Divine, who used to be their manager. But they like a lot of the Wu Tang members hate him. Cause like Divine like had a very set thing that they wanted to do as far as like money wise and like album releases, and the members just didn't trust him. And they was like, yo, like, we splitting this shit 9 ways. And like we got somebody like Nas who's fucking taking $1 million home by himself. So like they didn't trust Divine. Like they had made promises to give like a certain amount of money to put back in the Wu Tang, own it. Like there's a lot of shit that they were supposed to do, they just didn't get to, because it's like, how can you? It's non-personality.
How can yeah, which is wild.
Yeah.
Let's see what else is on here. Oh, well, Wildflower.
Flower.
Yeah. Wildflower is crazy.
Yes.
So he's basically talking about this woman cheating on him while he's out on tour. But the way that he tells the story, like, I want Ghostface to like be writing screenplays or some shit.
It's very funny.
It's super vivid.
All he did was talk about how good he fucked her.
Yeah, he talked about how good he fucked her, but then he's like, yo, you gave my pussy away. That shit hurt. While I was away and I was on tour and shit, and I was working, and you was over here fucking around on me. But it's still so, like, the way he tells stories, and it's like not like the most complex, but it's like the way that he's able to, like,
he tells stories the exact way I think a hood nigga would.
Yeah. And rap. Yeah. You know? Like that I think that's what the appeal of it is. That shit is dope.
No, it's great. So at the beginning I got samples for all of them shits.
Okay.
JD's Revenge. Is JD's Revenge. JD's Revenge is the sample from the beginning. And then let's see. And then we got Otis Redding's A Change Gonna Come as the other sample. And I'm just like, damn, how did he hear that? And
like, how do you put both of those in this?
Yeah, it's like, it's just one of those interesting things. But yeah, like, so on Wildflower, like, you know, he just basically saying like, yeah, like, you ain't follow none of the teachings of the Papa Nation that I taught you. Was
That was my headphones.
okay.
Yeah.
So he was like, he was like, so you lost out here in the world. Like, you know what I'm saying? They talking they gods of earth shit. But like it's just it's a very interesting breakup song. He's very good at he's very good at getting broken up with. He's very good.
Yeah, he is. He is.
So like that's kind of like his MO too. Like the nigga that gets cheated, the hood nigga that gets cheated.
That gets cheated on.
I think that's really funny.
I want to get to 260.
To 260?
Yeah, but I don't want to ignore Faster Blade because that's the one that Raekwon goes solo on.
Okay.
And that's a big moment. Like, because it's like you said, like earlier before, where Ghost just wasn't that confident and shit.
He wasn't that confident, and like he just like. But imagine that though. Like imagine like you making your album, right, and like your man's delivers his verse, and you just like, you know what, son,
that's your song now.
That's just you, son. Like going to the label, like, yeah. So wait a second. So you're not on this song at all? Nah, my man's out rap the fuck out.
Yeah. Which is probably unheard of back then, because it's like, yo, if it's your album, it's your album.
Yeah.
But back then, they was doing really unconventional shit, like Only Built for Cuban Links, it's not just Ray on the cover, This shit is not just him on the cover, it's two other niggas with him on the cover, and it's his album. So it's like, shit like that just wasn't happening.
And wrestling, they do that for wrestlers that are like less talented. So like, let's say like if you see a wrestler in a tag match, like take somebody like Goldberg. Like Goldberg, like he's all offense. He's great. He comes out, does think he's strong. But if you want like to see like a long match, it has to be a tag match for him, so he can like not get blown up or get winded, as they call it, and be able to finish the match and like actually like tell a story like where like makes sense, opposed to him just coming out and like just like charging at the dude and like pinning him in 3 seconds.
Which is what he used to do.
Yeah, is exactly. But like, eventually people caught on, and that's why like they had to put him in tag matches with like really good wrestlers and stuff like that.
Yeah, I used to like Goldberg's gimmick.
Yeah, we all like. I mean, his gimmick was great. It just like Goldberg. It just was like, all right, bro. Like you're not putting on good matches.
Yeah,
like if you care about that shit, like that's really going on.
Just popping up.
Yeah,
knocking niggas over, pinning them, and then leaving.
Yeah, like
it's like, all right, bro.
Talking about his interest was like his interest
was
longer. His interest was longer than some of his matches.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So 260. 260 it's like crazy story. 260 is, I think, the apartment number for the building in Long Island. That they went to go do a robbery.
Yep.
And then the storytelling is just chef kiss. Like, I love the part where he goes, I shot him in the neck, it ricocheted and hit Caroline. Like, I'm just like, what the fuck? Like this is when he walks in the fucking apartment to go do a drug bust and it goes wrong. Toward the end. But it's so vivid and it's so quick, but you get so much out of it in like less than 3 minutes.
Yeah. And it's funny because they use a lot of like Papa Center terminology.
Yeah.
And it's like a wacky story. And like I'm shocked that like Irv Gotti didn't try to like turn this into a real story for like that show Tales that he had. Like
there's a lot of those moments that Ghostface has that should be turned into that.
Right. And let's see what the sample is on this one. Al Green, You Ought to Be With Me. And for the opening, another The Education of Sonny Carson.
Oh, okay. And then let's see. Oh, Assassination Day. Another song that doesn't feature Ghostface, but Master Killah's on it, Inspector Deck, RZA, and Raekwon.
Master Killah shined on this shit.
Yeah, he did.
Master Killah shined, and I always get sad for Master Killah because his album was one of the albums that got caught up in that flood. And like, I feel like it sucks because there's Wu Tang members that careers probably would have like flourished if that flood didn't happen, and if they ever got to come out. Like there's like I want to say it was on the Inspector Deck or Master Killah. I can't remember, but like they put out their debut album in like 2000.
Yeah.
Like think about
that was just
that sucks.
You said Master Killah or who?
Or Inspector Deck.
I think it was Inspector Deck.
Like they put out their debut project like that late. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they missed the whole wave of like Wu Tang pandemonium.
Yeah.
If them niggas was on No Limit, all of them would have had albums come out within 6 weeks.
Within weeks, yeah. Yeah.
Like I get it that like the RZA was like really meticulous and like they had like a plan, But like, I really do think that it's sad that all 9 members didn't get to put out like their debut project on the time frame that they wanted to, because like they had to like sacrifice. And I think that's why like somebody like you God is like very bitter.
Yeah.
Because like, he always shined and knew what he could do, but like we never got to see like in that moment, because
And you got always had great verses.
yeah,
in my opinion.
like think about this, right? A lot of them got to make these projects in their early 20s, right? So by the time they got older, like they had a different perspective, but we didn't get the perspective from all of them when they were in their when they were younger.
Yeah. And when it would have probably had more of an impact.
Yeah, like because you got to think as they got older, they probably like changed like a lot. So, well, I'm not probably they did. They all these men like changed like a lot, and like certain things just passed them by. Like that moment kind of passed by them, whatever, like that. That was cool. Well, not cool, but like kind of fucked up and sad. Like it just sucks that, because it's like every member in Wu Tang is really good at rapping.
Yeah, they all share that for sure.
And this name is like very like fitting for Master Killah, because like they said that about him, like because he, if I'm not mistaken, they say that Master Killah has the best verse on 36 Chambers. Period.
Was it Master Killah that they said that about? Which verse was it?
Can it be also simple?
Oh, yeah, that is. Okay. I will have to go back and listen to that one.
Check it out.
Let's see. Elsewhere, we got Method Man. He pops up.
Yes, he does.
On Box in Hand.
Yeah. So the funny thing about that, right? If you have the original version, it's called Box in Hand, but they changed the name to,
I think it's Wu
Will Survive.
Yeah.
So I don't know what made them change it. I don't know why they switched it up, but it's like, so some people will be like, yo, I love Box in Hand. You be like, I never heard of that song. And it's just like, oh, and you be like, oh, is Wu Will Survive? And it's pretty interesting because, like they do a rendition of Jackson 5's Never Can Say Goodbye. Pretty cool. And yeah, like, I mean, that steals the show.
Yeah, he does. Man, Meth has a very unique legacy, because it's like now there's a whole era. Like I could probably ask my little cousin if he knows Method Man, and he's like, yeah, he'll probably say that's the guy from Power.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Or How High, like when they watched it. But yeah, Method Man I think has one of like the most like it's funny because he definitely reached like really high highs with his career, but like when we were younger, I thought he was going to be like the biggest thing.
I thought so too. I think he worked with Pac, right?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. I think he just made like a lot of sacrifices as far as like trying to like, help other Wu-Tang members and things like that, and like being like a good soldier for the team. And like, I think if he was more selfish, I think he would definitely be like way bigger around.
Yeah, I think what goes into account is that he didn't really have a great album.
Takal? Yeah, I remember somebody trying to tell me that Takal was a classic, and I was like, have you listened to that album? Yeah.
I think that's what kind of tarnished his legacy as a rapper a little bit. Like he didn't have that album, because he already had the hype, but he didn't have that one.
Yeah, he didn't. On Winter Wars, what's interesting is that this was on the Don't Be a Menace to South Central White Drinking Your Juice in the Hood soundtrack, which is funny because it's like you hear that now, you be like, that don't help like a single or whatever like that, but like back then, like getting placement on a soundtrack was a huge deal. So like so many
soundtracks were just a bigger deal.
Yeah, and I wish soundtracks could be a big deal again. I think Metro's working on that right now. What he did with Spider-Verse is pretty cool.
Yeah, but I think that's true. I don't know. It just doesn't have the same effect for me. Like when I listen to an album, it all just feels thrown together when it's a soundtrack now. Like it doesn't.
I get what you're saying. I mean, yeah, Panther soundtrack, they're good.
Yeah, that was amazing.
They get. I mean, sometimes they'll get it right. I just think that like right now, it don't feel like something that like we gotta like hear or like whatever like that. But Capadonna has the best verse on this one, and Capadonna is an interesting person to me because like he wasn't original. Like he was like one of the homies, but like he wasn't like in the original nine of Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
And that was like always like really funny to me because like basically like he was just supposed to be like a signee of the Wu-Tang Clan. So he was like signed to like all like technically, but no, like eventually he became like a member in the crew, and like he jumped mad people because he put out his debut project before a lot of people.
I watched the interview with It was Master Killer and it was excuse me. It was Master Killer and Rosenberg. Rosenberg was talking about Winter Wars, and he was like, yo, like Capadonna, he was like, yes, Capadonna has the best verse on this song, to the point where even when we perform this song, he just does his verse. Like, that's it.
And apparently it's a freestyle.
Yeah. And he freestyled it. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mhm.
That is crazy. I mean, I don't know. Like, that's impressive.
Mhm.
Let's see what the sample is on this. I think I'll do it by ZZ Hill and the Midnight Theme by Monxell. But yeah, that's interesting. And we got to get the Poisonous Darts.
Oh, yeah. Let's do
So
it.
there's 2 samples by Annie Peoples on there.
Mhm.
And there's dialogue from The Mystery of Chess Boxing, which is a kung fu movie. Ghostface definitely like shines on this one.
Mhm.
And it's funny because like they call their darts their verses, like their lyrics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's being called Poisonous Darts.
He killed this.
Yeah.
He said, I don't eat meat. I slap blood out of Purdue. I was like, yeah, that's it. I fuck with that word.
Like, I think, like, if I had to, like, explain to somebody, like, why Ghost is one of the greatest rappers of all time, I think this verse from Poisonous Darts.
This is a really good verse. All of them really,
Yeah.
all of them went in on this verse. On this song. What else? Oh, Kame. I like Kame.
Okay. This is the opposite of Wildflower.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice to women.
A little more delicate.
Yeah.
You know? Cap said, your hair do way more class than Halle Berry. Caught visions of me and you riding the ferry. It's like just hood nigga romance.
Hood nigga telling. We got the Teddy Pendergrass, Can We Try sample on there. The South Side Movement is on there, and Marquez Brel. I can't even, like, because it's in French for the hook. I can't even pronounce what the fuck that shit says. But yeah, like all 3 of them, like, definitely, like, came and, like, showed improved. And also, I want to say how impressive, like, Raekwon is on this project. Like, it seems like Raekwon is just always ready.
Yeah, he is.
Like, his pen, like, he's always ready to just go in there and do what he got to do.
The chef.
Yeah, like, he's cooking.
I feel like he really just be having verses just already there. And then you just ask him to spit, and he has one that'll go with whatever it is that you got.
Right. And then let's see. So we got Fish. Has Otis Redding's A Change Gonna Come. This is the second time on the album that A Change Gonna Come is used, which is pretty interesting. And then they have dialogue from the movie Crime Inc. And then they also have dialogue from the TV show Crime Freedom. And you know, Fish obviously is a metaphor for cocaine. So I just think that's pretty cool, like how like they use that term and like talk about selling drugs.
That nigga said we eat fish, toss salads, and rap ballads.
Yeah, like it's fucking funny as hell.
Elsewhere, we can't talk about this album without talking about After the Smoke Is Clear with the Delphonics. No, is it Delphonics? Yeah, it is Delphonics. Yeah. Which we know from the Drink Champs,
the Drink Champs
episode. That they recorded this after he got Delphonics involved in the shootout.
Which is funny because he said that them niggas had guns too.
Yeah. That's funny. Crazy.
That's crazy because you got to think like you just assume like, yo, I ruined everything.
Yeah.
Niggas is about to run for the hills and they was like, nah, it's all good.
Yeah. And they went and recorded a song after that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And this song samples Jimmy Ruffin's, the brother of David Ruffin, What Becomes of a Broken Hearted Man. So,
man,
you know, like that song is like, that song is an amazing song. And Jimmy Ruffin definitely doesn't get the flowers that he deserves.
No, he doesn't.
It's fucking amazing.
Nobody mentions Jimmy Ruffin. Oh yeah. All That I Got Is You. We already kind of spoke about that.
Another Jackson 5 sample.
Yeah.
For maybe tomorrow. And then at the beginning, the Education of Sonny Carson sample.
Yeah.
Jail scene.
Yeah.
I mean, it's All I Got Is You, a beautiful song. I think is one of the most like heartfelt, beautiful rap songs.
That shit can definitely bring tears to your eyes.
Yeah,
if it's a hip hop song that you're looking for, that you want to kind of inflict some type of emotion for you, like I think this is one. This is one of those.
I think if that song doesn't, then like you just you just heartless.
For that reason, I avoid this song sometimes.
Damn.
Like I can't listen to this song right now. Like it'll just take you there. And then there's Motherless Child we talked about. That one was on the South Sunset Park soundtrack.
Yes.
Yeah. Man, soundtracks was just
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, think about it. Like, there's songs that were on soundtrack, and you're just like, really? Like, what? Like, but
Sunset Park.
I guess now promo is just like playlists. Like, if you get placement on a playlist, like that's a big deal. But
Yeah.
like, then like movie soundtracks is what mattered.
Yeah.
Let's see. Soul Controller is pretty dope because the Force MDs are on there, and I love the Force MDs because they those big muscular dudes from Pretty.
Oh yeah, and Soul Controller is was removed from the album.
Right.
It's not even on. I don't think it's on streaming.
Yeah.
It was removed because of sample clearance issues.
Yeah, because there's a Sam Cooke and James Gonna Come sample on there, and Patrick Doyle's Remember Me.
So if you're watching this or listening, it would supposedly follow All That I Got Is You, but in the version that's on streaming, it's the last track Marvel that follows.
Yeah, I have I had the original CD, so I just still have it on my hard drive, so I still can listen.
Yeah.
But you can go on YouTube. I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. You can find it. But yeah, this thing closes out. I mean, what else? You want to talk about Black Jesus?
Talk about Black Jesus.
Yeah, because
War on there.
You got floated on there.
Yeah, he did.
You know,
they got Tom Jones as a sample on here, and the Lego My Ego jingle is on here.
Yeah, yeah. I discovered that when I went back listening to this too, and they had the link to it. Yeah,
that's cool. I think you got had the best verse on Black Jesus.
I think so too.
Oh, we can't wrap this up without talking about Daytona 500.
Oh yeah, Bodied.
Yeah,
album. I wrote. Yeah, it's an album highlight.
Did you know okay? So there's a song sample on here by Bob James. It's called Natalius. It's one of the most sampled songs in hip hop. Rick's a Children's Story samples it. Follow the Leader by Gary B and Rakim sample it. Throw Your Guns by Onyx, Clap Your Hands by Tribe Called Quest, Freddie Gibbs' Extradite, and Main Source's Live at the Barbecue all have sampled that song.
Damn. Yeah, no, I didn't know that. Well, I knew that it was one of the most sampled. I just didn't know which ones.
Yeah. So like that's pretty dope. I definitely feel like Ray shined the most on Daytona 500 for me. That's it's just like Raekwon like really like was on a run. And it makes me wonder, like, I wonder because like they were in a group or like because like, he was featured on Ghost album and Ghost featured on his album. I wonder why Raekwon was never like in the argument as one of the greatest rappers of all. Like the
I don't think one of the greatest rappers of what? Like just the time?
Yeah.
I think it probably has something to do with them not standing out on their own. Like how, I mean, they stood out on their own, but they still shared a lot of their moments.
Right. Yeah. That's what, like, I think that's it. Like they were so selfless for each other to be successful. But like Raekwon, like 95 from 94 to 96, Raekwon is one of the most consistent rappers, period.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's still consistent.
Yeah.
Like if you need a verse from Ray, he will show up. Yeah. Like he shows up. But I think that's probably just what it boils down to. He shares a lot of his moments.
Okay.
And highlights.
So we're going to get to Marble, right?
Yeah.
Marble.
Such a good closer. So he just lets that beat just.
The M in Marble is the 13th letter in the alphabet. 1 + 3 = 4. 4 in mathematics, in supreme mathematics represents culture and freedom.
Let me get my tinfoil hat.
Yeah, man. The song is basically warning you to stay away from the 85% who are under the grasp of the 10%. The 5% are the poor, righteous teachers and poets that are here to supply knowledge and understanding.
Okay, that's the RZA.
Yeah, man.
That's the shit. That's his shit.
At the 5% nation.
Yeah,
they know everything. Man.
That's his shit. He be on.
Yeah,
but sometimes like RZA be in his bag when he be rapping, but then it's sometimes where it's such a odd thing too because he makes the beats, but he be rapping like he don't hear the beat.
Oh yeah, RZA definitely, I think doesn't get the credit for that offbeat rapping shit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, cause I don't know. The way that he's doing it is like he's not acknowledging the beat at all. Like he just rapping.
Do you think that cause some rappers rap to the beat like Jay-Z, but then I think that the RZA just writes his verses.
Yeah.
And
he don't write it to the beat.
Yeah. I feel like, or like he might have like an outline of what he's writing to, and then like he's like, all right, like let's
Yeah, I'm gonna go with this.
Yeah.
But I do like the later half of his verse where he just lets the beat ride out because it's a really beautiful beat. All through.
You gotta stay away from these harlots and Jezebels, man.
You know, that is the main lesson, ladies and gentlemen.
That is the main lesson.
What is your rating? You want to get to that?
Okay, so I have a question.
Yeah.
Why is this called a solo album? It's not. It has a feature on almost every song, right? So my question is do you think less of the artists when they have this, like, you know, sometimes like we'd be like, yo, why all these features? With this project, because it says featuring the other artists, does that make a difference, or like does that make it harder for you?
I think when it says featuring, like you talking about like in the overall packaging of it, like featuring, I think it makes it more digestible in the sense that like it's their presentation.
The presentation.
Like this is my presentation featuring these people.
Okay.
Well, welcome to this show.
So it doesn't make it like less special for you, right?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah.
So for me, with this project, I definitely hold it in high regard. I give it 4.5 out of 5 waffles because he's missing on 2 songs, and knowing that he also doesn't agree that this is his best project. And we saw him at his best on Supreme Clientele.
Clientele.
On Supreme Clientele. Great. But yeah, so I see the ELE and I just want to say Tele. But yeah, you know, his sophomore project is better than his debut project.
Absolutely.
So I consider that project his classic. So
yeah.
I can't say that this one is like it's a great album.
It's a good album.
Like I just think it should have just been presented as Ghostface, Raekwon, and Capadonna.
Yeah.
Like, it should have been presented that way, in my opinion. But you know, to each his own. I understand Ghost was in a very dark place at this time, and his brothers held him up, and they did a great job at it.
Yeah, I definitely think the intent going into it was, hey, Ghost, we need your solo album. And that's what it was. And they kind of just stuck with that regardless of how it turned out with all these features.
Right.
So in that line of consideration, I just leave it at that. But I will also give this a 4. Did you say 4.5?
4.5.
I'm gonna give it a 4. I give it a 4 because I do like what I got here, but also a lot of it is I just wanted more Ghosts. Like I wanted more in-depth shit, but like I'm happy with what I got. But judging on what I got later from him,
right,
that takes it off for me.
It's like we have the example of what he did.
Yeah,
like damn, Tony Starks. You know,
it's like, but he learned from this to give us that. So I will give him that. And they really pulled together to make a really good album.
But yeah, I'll be honest with you, that's like a very intriguing thing to me. Like when an artist is in like a dark place in their record project, because for them it's kind of like, yo, I wasn't in a good place, but like people love it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there are people that come up to Ghostface and be like, yo, that album got me through so much. Or like that album is so enjoyable. It's one of my favorite albums. And he's like, I'm not the person like, thank you, but I hate that shit.
Yeah. Imagine how Eminem must feel. Like he's sober now.
Shit.
And all the shit that he did when he wasn't sober, people like. And all the shit he did when he's sober, people hate.
And he doesn't remember that shit.
He must be questioning shit every day.
Like the fact that he doesn't remember being at the BT Awards is not funny.
Yeah. So like, and that's when he was putting out his best shit. So it's like, yo, damn. And in a way, like the audience, like we kind of be fuming their vices a little bit. Because it's like, damn, like when Wayne, like niggas is like, no, Wayne better not put that cup down. And it's like,
God damn,
bruh. Like what? But no, I definitely give this album a 4. I would say for you guys to definitely check it out. Let us know what you think. I'm First Class Reg.
And I'm Taurian B.
We're out of here.
Catch you guys next time.
Dun dun.